Hello and welcome to Stitch With Me in 2024. This is the June prompt. June prompt is our 6th one, so we're halfway through the year. It's kind of exciting. Now I'm kind of looking back at my entire snippet roll and adding in little pieces to tie it all together. And I'm doing this at a slow pace, nothing rushed, I don't feel any urgency. But this prompt kind of kick-started that for me a little more. The prompt for June is monogram. Now with monogram, we simply think of initials, but there's a little more to it, and there's actually a very rich history of monograms. Early monograms included coins with initials on them. Now for monograms that we think of today, we can use our own initials, you can use a simple single letter, you can combine initials with somebody else, your partner or spouse, and you can really add flourishes to make the monogram its own icon. You can overlap the letters or add numbers, or you can add other motifs like florals or animals, just like they did with royalty. I can't wait to show you how I did my monogram, and then I can't wait to see your monograms. So let's get started. So to get started with monogram, I went right to my sketchbook and started making some monograms. I used the initial for my first and last name. Technically, if you use your middle initial, the last name is supposed to go in the center, first name on the left, middle initial on the right. You can combine initials with your partner, your spouse. You can overlap. You don't have to take this very seriously. The etiquette can be important to you, and if it is, continue with that. But you can also have fun with it if you want to use an acronym or you want to use a monogram of something that's meaningful in your life that isn't necessarily your name or your given name. Go ahead and use that. The one thing I love about the monograms is how they incorporated various little fun things into them. Something as simple as a line. Here I took a line and I made it into a needle and thread. Same thing here. I love how they take the letter and they can put your name in there or some other letters. And just something as simple as dots really make it come alive. So I think this is kind of a fun one. I love the monograms on either handkerchiefs or napkins. And I love how they're usually tone on tone. So if you have a white napkin, you have the white embroidery or lace. And so that's what I'm going to do today. So I'll gather my supplies and show you how I'm going to start this. So I have various lace, and I stuck with the color ivory because it was pretty close to the little napkin that I'm going to make. And this is a miniature. Now, if I was doing something other than a snippet roll, I'd make it larger and then fold it into quarters, like a napkin on a table. But I don't want that bulk on my snippet roll, so I'm just going to use it that way. And this is the part of the snippet roll I'm going to work on. Before I got started, I wanted to add a few little interesting backgrounds. I thought I'd add the musical print that I used earlier here, as well as the deer. I used something from that earlier in a prompt, and I had read that they used a lot of animals when they were making their monograms in the 1800s and early 1900s, so I thought I'd put that deer in as a nod to that. And then I'd have my napkin, which I have to make in miniature, and I'd stick it somewhere around here, move this deer up accordingly. I stamped monogram on my little muslin here, and I have my background. So after I make the monogram in miniature on this napkin, I'll use the lace to design it. And I'll show you that process sped up because it takes a long time to figure out exactly how you want something. And then I can come and place these other elements. Now typically the monogram on a napkin goes right in the corner. So I want to do that as well. I'll make a border around my napkin, put my monogram in, and then embellish it with all the different laces that I have here, or some of them at least. I knew I wanted to start with a trim on my napkin. So I'll start by stitching the edge just to give it a beautiful little scalloped edge. Maybe I'll turn these under, these two sides, so it looks like a folded napkin, and then I'll embroider my D, and we can come back and really play around with making it really elegant. So I added the trim and my initial, and I have this really precious mini hanky here little embroidered. I've never had one with my initials before, or my D, my monogram. I want to add a little more to it. It's awfully cute the way it is, but I think I want to add some of these flowers. And I can just cut them apart because they're a little large, but if I cut them apart, I might have a little more luck. So I'll cut these apart, maybe add some other lace. I have a couple of other little pieces I can play with and show you the result before I stitch it down. So I have my little pieces here that I'll stitch down next. I took a little bit of this lace and really cut it up and use the border here. I think when I stitch it down, I might add a few stitches just to tie it in, but I just think that looks so cute and elegant, the tone on tone. So I'll give that a go, and then we'll start piecing together the entire prompt onto the snippet roll. I might even save these and use these somehow in there. There I have what I consider a lovely, teeny little monogram napkin. It's kind of exciting. Oh, so precious. So now I just want to piece together how I want to place it on my snippet roll. I have these extra pieces from the lace that I cut up. I wound up not using this lace, just some other lace, but I like it. So either I'll use it today or I'll save it and use it in a future project. And the same thing, I want to see how I want this to go. I think like this. Not sure if I want it to go off the page. Yeah, maybe I do. I can tuck it under there and trim this edge a little. And this is just the process of figuring out the design that I want. I want to incorporate this deer somehow, and then just maybe have my monogram, my little napkin right here sticking out. And I'll just place this, cut this out, and stitch it down. Yeah, maybe I'll do it right up here, going up and down like that. So I'll stitch these down and then come back and decide about these cute little embellishments and some other stitches I want to incorporate in. So I have my little monogrammed hanky here, along with the label and the collage. It's somewhat mobile. I have the little bits of lace here that I can add, although I'm not really sure that I want to add anything more to this little section, this little prompt. I really like it, but I do want to incorporate these things. I may go back at previous prompts and maybe just add a few here and there. I like how that looks. So I think I'll do that off camera. And the next time you see me in July, I'll show you a quick view of the updated prompt, all 6 months. But for now, I'm really pleased with how the June prompt came out. I'm really pleased with the snippet roll overall, but I think this monogram is so precious. Creating this project brings me a lot of joy. So that's how I created my monogram. I really enjoyed this. I love that little hanky. I love the fact that now I have my own first monogrammed little handkerchief. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for joining me today.